Welcome to my channel. My name is Mwehaki Nguru. Let's make a basic short pattern. First, I'm going to mark my waist to hip measurement, which is 7 inches, and square across. Next, I'm going to measure my front crotch measurement. You can measure this from your favorite pair of pants. I find that that's the best way to get the best fit. And square across. Next, I'm going to mark the length of my shorts. They are about 17 inches. I want them a bit short. So now we have our waistline, our hip line, our crotch line, and the length of our pants. Just mark this on so that it's easier for you to remember what measurements you're putting where. Once you're done, quarter hip measurement on the hip. I'm going to mark that and square down to the crotch line. At the crotch, I will add 3 inches. This is usually standard. It's either 3 inches or 2.5 depending on how the body of the person you're creating it for. Then at the center, I'm going to mark 1 inch and connect this line. You can use a curved ruler. I opted to freehand draw because I don't have the full set of the curved rulers yet. But if you do, please feel free. At this point, I'm just going to square down because these are straight leg pants. So it doesn't really matter my thigh measurement or anything like that. Then I'm going to connect that line to the waistline. On the waistline, I'm going to mark my quarter waist measurement plus 1 inch for the pleat. I will also go down 1 centimeter or half an inch for that ease for when you're sitting down. Connect these points and that's our new waistline. Next, I'm going to carve my side. This is the side of the shorts. I like to start with a pencil, then go back in with a marker pen. Again, feel free to use your curved ruler. So I'm going to mark my lines again so that you can see once I cut out the pattern. And that's pretty much the end of the front pattern. Next step, just cut out your pattern and we have the front. At the waist though, you're not going to cut the new waistline you created. You're going to cut the original line because we need a straight line to help us create the back pattern. I forgot to actually show you guys where the pleat is going to be. So let's do that now. Measure half your waist measurement and mark this point. Once you mark the middle point of the waist, square down at this point to the hip. Remember, this is a pleat, so it's not going to go this far, but I'll show you guys how I'm going to create the pleat in the next video when I'm sewing the shorts. On either side at this point, measure 0.5 inches on both sides. And square down as well. This is just to show you guys where the pleat is going to be. And remember, our pleat is 1 inch wide. That's why we measured 0.5 inches on each side. Now we have our pleat. Place the front pattern on a fresh piece of paper. Make sure you draw a faint line about 3 inches from the edge of the paper. Extend the crotch line onto the new piece of paper. To keep the front pattern from moving, I'm going to tape it down. At that extended crotch line, we are trying to extend the crotch for the back pattern. I'm going to mark 2 inches. Then at that same point, go down 0.5 inches. So that's 2 inches across and 0.5 inch down. At the center, remember for the front pattern we did 1 inch. For this one, I'm going to mark 1.5 inches. At the waist, on this one side, I'm going to measure the middle and mark that point. At that point, I'm going to square up. And measure 2 inches. Here I'm just making it darker for you guys to see. It's always important, if you're not sure about something, you start with a pencil, then go in with a marker so that your pattern does not get like really messy. I'm going to mark the bottom of the pants. Then I'll connect that corner to the new crotch for the back pattern. Next, I'm going to join the new waist, the new corner, and the new crotch line. I started with a pencil. I feel like sometimes dotted lines, when you use dotted lines, it's a lot easier to carve or do anything like that, or maybe that's just me. Then I will go in with a marker. Measure the waist of the front pattern again, and this time place that measurement to our new waist. Mark where it meets the faint line that we made in the paper to begin with. Remember, this is the line where we placed our front pattern on. Once we have that, we're going to connect these 2 points to have our new waistline. Then I'm going to carve, just like I did on the front pattern, to connect the waist to the hip. But unfortunately, I did not realize that this part was out of focus. So here is the curve I made. Then I'm going to join the 2 dots I made for the bottom of the front pattern. And that's it, we have our back pattern, just like that. Now let's mark our back dart. Again, measure the midpoint of the waist, mark it, square down at this point. Pay attention to where I'm placing the ruler. The waistline is the reference point for squaring down. The back dart is about 4 inches and 1 inch wide, so I'm marking 0.5 inches on each side. Then I'm going to use my marker and ruler to join these points. Just like that, we have our back dart. Now that we are done with the back pattern, it's time to cut off the excess to have our actual waist for the front pattern. And that's it, guys. We have our front and back pattern. Please stay tuned for the sewing video that's going to be coming up after this. I have like this really cute brown fabric that I cannot wait to make myself a pair of shorts from. That old money vibe. This pattern is very much for that old money vibe style of pants. Okay, thank you guys so much for joining us. Bye.